Hello everyone, this is Nillufary. Today is Tuesday, May 19th, 2020. Behind me is the Canadian Embassy. Yesterday night I sent them an email. Here is my email. I sent it to the Prime Minister of Canada and Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship. And many other people have also received this email. I'm going to mention this later. And today I also printed this email and sent it via post, one to the Prime Minister's office and one to the Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship. I also made an extra copy and brought it here, submitted to the embassy. I already gave it to them, and they said they are going to send me an email to confirm the receipt of my envelope. And here is my letter. I'm going to read this letter quickly, and I will be on my way. So, as I said, this letter was sent yesterday. Here, as you can see, Monday, May 18th, 2020. Subject: seeking Canada's assistance for my resettlement or granting me asylum or entry permit to its territory. Dear Prime Minister of Canada, the Right Honourable Justin Trudeau, and dear Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, the Honourable Marco E.L. Mendicino. I hope that I pronounced the name correctly. I am 33 years old, a civil engineer and a beneficiary of international protection, and a stateless person in exile for over 15 years who have been held hostage, exploited and deprived of everything in Greece, a country always in recession, of even livelihoods for nearly 6 years, and currently have basically nothing left to survive on. We know for a fact that people won't drown simply by falling into a river, but by staying submerged in it, and that is exactly what Europe and UNHCR have been experimenting on my case over the past 6 years. With no income, no safety or stability, no future, and now not even sufficient food to live on. Although I am not and have never been an enemy of Europe, but I suppose the opposite is and has always been true, because I feel I have been treated like an enemy right from the very moment I set a foot on this continent in search of refuge. Who or what am I in Greece is not officially clear. A refugee, a hostage, a prisoner of war, or nobody with no identity at all, who has been systematically deprived of everything and left alone to die. Nobody knows, or at least they all pretend not to know. What is clear though is that I need urgent protection, and of course a country that can offer me that, which certainly is not Greece and will never be Greece for sure. Although up to this date the organization has not even acknowledged my presence here in front of their office, but you must already know that currently I am on a long-standing protest at the doorsteps of the office of the United Nations Refugee Agency, UNHCR, in Athens, Greece, for nearly 38 months, over 3 years, and seeking the organization's assistance for my resettlement in another country, or for my case to be directed to another UNHCR office inside or outside Europe, where I could get a proper response to my resettlement inquiry without having to face any obstacles. Here I was initially on hunger strike for up to 64 days, and I am now also undocumented as well for more than 27 months, over 2 years. All this began while I was already in exile for nearly a decade in northern Iraq, and my life was unjustifiably destabilized by the government of Mafia, Kurdistan Regional Government, KRG, in the region in coordination with the Iran's evil regime, and I was consequently forced into exile for the second time in less than a decade in the year 2014. In association with one of the deviated Kurdish parties from Western Kurdistan, Democratic Party of Iranian Kurdistan, KDPI, The Barzani's monarchist family and his wishes party, Kurdistan Democratic Party, PDK, are indeed the most responsible for the second destabilization of my life and forcing me into exile and making me refugee again. Due to lack of essential documents, i.e. passport, I could neither legally leave the region nor could I legally immigrate to another country such as Canada. All my documents for obtaining Iraqi citizenship and passport were vanished by the affiliates of the same political parties mentioned above. But it didn't stop there, because they also destroyed my career and even forced the company I was working for not to pay off many months of my salary. They also weaponized and arbitrarily revoked my lawfully obtained resident permit and told me to leave the region. We don't care how, we don't care where to, they told me at the end. Still in the region, all my efforts in reaching out to the Canadian Embassy in Jordan and Turkey for enhancing my birth certificate to act as a passport all went in vain. Both the US and Canadian Embassy have directed me to the local office of the United Nations Refugee Agency, UNHCR, in order to register with them and get help there, but regardless of the urgency and severity of the situation, the UNHCR office in Erbil, Iraq, had completely mishandled and neglected my case. This happened between 2012 and 2014. It is a short thing that what had happened to me in northern Iraq did not simply just happen. It was brought about, and if I am to lay the blame, I suspect the Iran's rogue and terrorist regime must have also been involved there. I believe it was under the direct instructions and guidance of their notorious intelligence agency, VAGA, that the second destabilization of my life was plotted and being carried out, as they were also responsible for vanishing some of the people I knew. Several months from the second destabilization of my life, and in the hope of finding protection and a durable and sustainable solution for my life, and after surviving a deadly sea crossing over the Aegean Sea, I had eventually found myself on the Europe's shores. But 1 year after my arrival to the continent, and as a direct consequence of a shameful misdirection, false and incomplete information given to me by the Office of the United Nations Refugee Agency, UNHCR, NGOs and asylum authorities in Greece, I had suffered an illegal deportation from Sweden back to Greece in September 2015. In Greece, I was initially instructed to register with the asylum authorities here, then, if admitted, to get essential documents and leave and go wherever I wanted to settle in Europe. They are very good people, I was being told. They understand how bad the situation is in Greece and they will never send you back here. But in spite of following the guidelines, the Swedish Migration Agency had sent me back to Greece even when Greece was not abiding by the Dublin regulations. They sent me back at the time even when all the borders were temporarily open and people could freely leave Greece and reach the prosperous countries of Europe without having to rely on people smugglers, or without having to risk their lives or take any dangerous routes. The decision on my illegal deportation by the Swedish Migration Agency was pronounced to be on the grounds of the Dublin regulations, when the facts of the matter on the ground dictate that they sent me back to Greece because I did not pay people smugglers to reach their territory in the first place. Now, due to the Dublin regulations, I will no longer be able to find protection in other EU countries. Also, due to the timing and geographical restrictions, I was also being excluded from benefiting from EU's already failed relocation program. That is why the only durable and sustainable solution with respect to my case would only be my resettlement in another country, most likely outside of this continent, i.e. Canada, US or Australia. Although refugees are the only group of people eligible for resettlement, but even in possession of the legal status, they are not allowed to apply for resettlement on their own. According to the current legal frameworks, a resettlement of individual refugees would require UNHCR's mediation for the submission of their applications. As UNHCR, due to its own political agendas and its utterly inhumane policies, had been continually disregarding my repeated requests for assistance for my resettlement in another country for nearly 1.5 years from my illegal deportation from Sweden back to Greece in September 2015. and have even been denying that it had anything to do with refugee resettlement. I had therefore eventually forced into announcing a hunger strike and protest at the doorsteps of the organization on March 21, 2017. A long-standing protest which still is continuing up to this date under the most inhumane, degrading and undignified conditions in Greece. However, rather than recognizing my rights, my access to the UNHCR office also seems to have been blocked. A deleterious and diabolical blockage with the aim of possibly forcing me into taking illegal routes and leaving the continent through irregular means rather than available legal channels, or alternatively to enforce forced return to the so-called my country of origin, a country I do not have. Meanwhile, the so-called humanitarian NGOs in Greece are all refusing to offer legal or any kind of services to my case and seems to have taken part in covering up my case and vilifying my character. Additionally, I have also reached a deadlock seeking legal aid from the state. During my last endeavor on this regard, I have also suffered numerous physical assaults at the hands of the Hellenic police. Although over the past 3 years I had submitted numerous complaints to the Greek ombudsman and had asked for their intervention, but so far nothing had come out as a result of those complaints. Additionally, I had also addressed the European Commission, the Petition Committee at the European Parliament, as well as the European Ombudsman, but my situation still remains unresolved. UNHCR, in the other hand, is refusing to take any responsibilities and not only seems to have left the matter to the Greek state, but has also completely lost perspective and compassion and only tends to extend the situation in a clear hope that I would eventually die and never going to make it. Perhaps death by starvation. A cheap and easy solution without having to cost them anything and all at the expense of the refugee himself. A systematic deprivation and targeted assassination. This could also be a politically motivated matter that may, behind the shut doors, involve other countries other than Greece as well. Due to trying to reach the UNHCR's office, I have also been subject to continued physical assaults at the hands of the guards of the UNHCR's building, the employees of the organization, the people inside the UNHCR's building, and even the Hellenic police. However, these deterrent and terrorizing measures were not the only policy of the UNHCR towards this case, because I had as well suffered indefinite numbers of illegal detention in different police facilities, trials after trials in the Court of Athens, the Caserio AVLP zone, and illegal detention in refugee camps and even in prisons. An illegal and torturous treatment continually being practiced in my case since my illegal deportation from Sweden back to Greece in September 2015. I am not living my own life and barely surviving, even though I haven't done anything wrong yet. They deceived me and have been forcing me into silence while everyone pretends it is the way it should be. Why? The Hellenic police is regularly removing me from the doorsteps of the UNHCR's building, yet in spite of doing so for far too many years, still do not want to make a statement about this ongoing situation. We don't care, your life doesn't matter to us, go back to your country. Why you came here? Go kill yourself. Remove your shelter from their UNHCR's office and go die somewhere else are examples of their short replies to my requests for making a statement. In one particular incident, I was also hit by a passenger car in the middle of the street opposite to the UNHCR building. While protesting in the middle of the street, a car driver had attempted to murder me. It hit me once, then waiting for me to get up, then it hit me again and simply ran away. When I reported the incident to the police, they were only shooting me from one police station to another police station and were doing so for 2 days before they finally told me that since I did not die from the accident, therefore to the police it was not a crime worthy of investigation, and as such I should forget about the whole incident or even wanting to pursue the perpetrators. Additionally, so far I have had up to 22 trials in the Court of Athens, the Caserio AVLP zone, simply on the counts of attempting to reach the office of the United Nations Refugee Agency, UNHCR, and seeking a durable and sustainable solution for my life. And as listed below, I have as well been practically imprisoned in 5 different prison facilities in 5 different occasions on the same accounts. First, by the court order number GAM 1800 from March 7, 2018, I had to serve a 12 months 10% prison sentence in the closed prison of Neapolis from March 7, 2018 to April 13, 2018. During serving this sentence, I also suffered some physical and verbal assaults in this prison, which were all orchestrated by the police. Second, as a result of an arbitrary decision by the Hellenic police, I had to serve a 12 months 10% prison sentence in the Amygdaleza pre-removal detention facility from May 2, 2018 to June 8, 2018. 1 or 2 days earlier, I had also suffered multiple physical assaults at the hands of the guards of the UNHCR building, as well as one of the employees of the UNHCR for trying to reach the organization. The videos of the incident are public and available on my YouTube channel. Third, by the court order number BAM 7091 from the year 2018 and by the court order number BAM 8697 from the year 2018, I had to serve a 12 months plus 6 months 10% prison sentence in the closed prison of Khania from June 27, 2018 to August 14, 2018. I suffered multiple physical assaults in Khania. Those assaults as well were all orchestrated by the police. By the court order number AAM 851, followed by a trial in February 8, 2019, and the court order number GAM 1800 from February 27, 2018, I had to serve a 6 months plus 8 months 10% prison sentence in the closed prison of Kos from February 6, 2019 to March 14, 2019. I suffered multiple physical assaults at the hands of Hellenic police during serving these sentences. My cell phone, Samsung Galaxy S6 Gold, was also stolen by the police. Fifth, by the court order number BAM 4403, followed by a trial in May 15, 2019, I had to serve a 6 months 10% prison sentence in the closed prison of Naflio from May 15, 2019 to June 6, 2019. I was also assaulted by the police upon my removal from the doorsteps of the UNHCR's office on May 2, 2019. Sixth, these are in addition to the fact that each time they take me to the court, they also keep me in detention for 2 to 3 days, that according to the Greek laws would be equivalent to over 1 year of imprisonment. The conditions at the doorsteps of the UNHCR office are extremely dire, with no water, no electricity, and no sanitary services being provided to me. I am therefore left alone to even struggle for those basic needs on a daily basis. Currently, due to the outbreak of the coronavirus, I have daily issues finding a place where I could use the toilet, and until just 2 days ago, I also haven't been able to take a shower in over 2 months' time. Furthermore, I have also been excluded from benefiting from the cash assistance program, which is about 200 to 250 euros monthly allowance provided to most of the refugees who have been deliberately being stuck in this country. Having run out of funds, my own savings, now basically starving on a daily basis, only eating 1 meal a day, no fruits, no vegetables for over a year now, and without any relief anytime soon. This could potentially result in announcing my second hunger strike in a very short period of time from now. And given how badly I had been treated during my first hunger strike, I fear this might lead to even a greater tragedy and possibly loss of life by starvation. As part of this systematic and utterly inhumane treatment, my shelters had also been destroyed at least on 3 occasions, and in the meantime, as part of a continued cover-up campaign by the Greek state and the UNHCR, my internet was cut. One of my phones, the Samsung Galaxy S6 Gold, was stolen by the police. My second phone, Samsung Galaxy S8 Edge, containing evidence of another assault by the police was confiscated by the state, and my cell phone ZTE blade being destroyed by the police. I am truly terrorized by the UNHCR, by the people inside the UNHCR's building, and also by the Hellenic police as well. I am extremely tired, exhausted, and almost dying. I fear for my life, my safety, and well-being. The matter of the fact is that clearly not only I have no protection in Greece, but over the past 6 years of my prolonged imprisonment in Greece, the Greek state had continually and egregiously violated all of its international obligations under the 1951 Geneva Convention, the European Human Rights Convention, and 2 other international conventions as listed below. The 1951 Geneva Convention, Article 3, Article 7, Paragraph 3, 4, 5, Article 15, Article 16, Article 17, Article 18, Article 19, Paragraph 2, Article 21, 22, and 23, Article 24, Paragraph 1b, and Article 3, and lastly Article 34. Second, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 1, Article 5, Article 8, Article 9, Article 22, Article 23, Paragraph 1, Article 25, Paragraph 1, 3, the European Convention of Human Rights, Article 1, Article 3, Article 5, Article 13, and Article 14. Fourth, the Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhumane, and Degrading Treatment or Punishment, CAT. Article 1, Article 2.1 and 2.2, Article 3, Article 6.3, Article 10.1, Article 11, Article 12, Article 13, Article 14.1, Article 15, Article 16.1, and Article 17.1. I believe there is a lot more dignity and honor in killing people straight away rather than what is being practiced in my case in this country for these many years. In other words, over these past 6 hellish years, Europe has taken far more from me than it has the power to give back, and hence Greece must urgently release me from its fake protection, apologize and compensate me for the amount of immeasurable and irreparable damages it had unjustly and unfairly inflicted on my life, and as a gesture of goodwill and as a way of easing my pain and suffering, they must also immediately facilitate my resettlement, or alternatively grant me a safe passage to a country of asylum outside Europe, i.e. Canada, US, or Australia, and let me go immediately and stop damaging and hindering my life any further. Refugees do not have any obligations to stay in a country with no functioning asylum system, no protection of any kind, and no security at all. I did not seek refuge to pay and suffer, nor did I agree or sign on any paper that enslaves me in Greece, because more or less this is nothing but a clear example of slavery. Am I not in charge of my own life? Dear Prime Minister of Canada, the Right Honourable Justin Trudeau, and dear Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, the Honourable Marco E.L. Mendicino. Over the past 3 years, I have as well reached out to your offices on numerous occasions and had asked for assistance and collaboration regarding my resettlement in Canada, but as my dire situation at the doorsteps of the UNHCR in Athens, Greece, still remains unresolved, I am therefore once again compelled to contact you again and once more ask for your assistance for my resettlement, or to consider granting me asylum or entry to Canada's territory, and thereby to let me seek Canada's protection there upon arrival. I fully understand that from the previous correspondences sent from the Minister's office as well as from the Canadian Embassy in Italy, the resettlement of individual refugees from outside Canada requires UNHCR's mediation and a resettlement referral from this UN agency, or alternatively have to be supported by a private sponsor from inside Canada for the submission of their resettlement application. But as fully disclosed herein, in Greece they have practically blocked my access to the UNHCR office, and I am as well not able to obtain a private sponsor, SASS, from inside Canada, mainly due to the criteria they apply. And for this very reason, I am therefore will not be able to submit a refugee resettlement application to any of the Canada's visa and immigration offices abroad, or any other country for that matter. and that is exactly where and why I require some softening and a more understanding and compassionate response to this humanitarian tragedy. Please also note that my resettlement application was returned to me by the Canadian Embassy in Italy on March 2017 because it did not go along with the resettlement referral from the UNHCR's office. I am seeking to be granted a safe passage or a legal way of entry to a country of asylum outside Europe, i.e. Canada, US or Australia, or to be resettled in one of these countries urgently. My needs for resettlement or obtaining a safe passage are rightful, legit and legal. My case already fulfills at least 3 of the resettlement criteria. Those criteria are legal and physical protection needs, survivor of violence and torture, and lack of local integration prospects. I cannot afford to let my rights be infringed upon any longer, nor can I tolerate any other physical assaults directed at me at the doorsteps of the UNHCR's office by various entities only because I try to reach the organization and need its assistance. Where Canada stands in all of this? Are you involved and therefore part of it, or rather against it? Dear Prime Minister of Canada and dear Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, today, as I have once again fairly informed your offices about the aspects of my dire situation in Greece, I am therefore hereby once again seeking Canada's assistance in resolving this humanitarian tragedy. If Canada is really willing to help, which I really appreciate if it does, then I believe it had far more than enough time to decide on this complicated matter. And as such, if not already late, then it is now time to make a decision that can be put into practice and get me out of Greece urgently. I also propose that you consider one of the following practical and rational propositions and thereby help put an end to my prolonged imprisonment in Greece and the endless torment imposed on me in this country for these many years. Those propositions are: first, please allow me to submit a refugee resettlement application without a resettlement referral from the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, and thereby facilitate my resettlement in Canada. A state does not need anyone's mediation or permission in order to offer asylum to an individual genuine refugee in dire and urgent need of protection. Second, alternatively, please kindly consider granting me entry to Canada's territory and thereby allow me to seek asylum, Canada's protection there later upon arrival. I would happily and gratefully be ready to negotiate and to be fairly charged in return for this safe passage and for my rights of my settlement in Canada. Third, otherwise I am hereby inviting the Canadian government, a delegate of its asylum and immigration authorities, to attend a meeting in the presence of the officials from the Greek state and the Office of the United Nations Refugee Agency, UNHCR, in Athens, Greece, where I am staying, and let us find a solution together there. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I am anxiously looking forward to your compassionate response and your kind assistance and consideration of this asylum and humanitarian appeal and the above-mentioned matters. I will remain at your disposal should you require any further information. Please also verify the receipt of this email. Thank you. Yours respectfully, Anwar Nillufary. Registered case number at the Greek Asylum Office 12826 from the year 2014. The address: my shelter located in front of the UNHCR's main office in Athens since March 21st, 2017. Michalakopoulou 91. I also provided them with some links to my Facebook page, my Twitter and YouTube channel. hashtag justice for Anwar, hashtag hostage of Europe, hashtag in this torment now, hashtag no to slow killings, hashtag SOS. This was sent, as I said, on Monday, May 11, 2020. This was also sent to many other people, as you can see here at the CC part. I'm going to read for you who else have received this letter, this email, because these are all the officials in Canada and also the UN Refugee Agency. First, the Parliament of Canada, the Speaker of the Parliament, the Clerk of Petitions, Citizenship and Immigration Committee in the Canadian Parliament, CIMM, and Justice and Human Rights Committee, JUST, at the Parliament of Canada for the same matter above. This is the first one. Senate of Canada, Speaker of the Senate and Human Rights Committee in the Senate of Canada, RIDR, for the same matters above. This was the second group. The third, Canadian Human Rights Commission, CHRC, High Commission of Canada in the United Kingdom, Permanent Mission of Canada to the United Nations, Embassy of Canada to Italy and Embassy of Canada to Greece for the same matters above. Thank you. This was the third group. And the last one, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, the Deputy High Commissioner, Kelly Clements, and the High Commissioner's representative in Greece, Philippe Leclerc, for the same matters above. Thank you. And this is my letter, and that's it for this video. Thank you very much. And I am hereby once again reaching out to whoever is watching this, or whoever is aware of this case or my situation in front of the UNHCR's office. I really need to bring this case to the attention of the European Court of Human Rights. So if you know of a lawyer, individual lawyer of or an organization active in the field of human rights, please let them know about my case, and tell them to come meet me in front of UNHCR's office in my shelter if they are interested, and help me out in submitting this case to the European Court of Human Rights. Otherwise, I appreciate your help and support in whatever ways possible. Maybe follow me on Facebook and Twitter, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share, comment, distribute these videos, tell everybody you know, tell everybody you can about this ongoing situation. They are literally killing me here. They are just delaying this, just to starve me to death. And this is a burden not only just on my shoulder, but on the shoulders of whoever is aware of this case. You owe it to the world to let them know about this ongoing situation, to let them know how these officials, these governments are treating refugees, how difficult is it for a refugee to find asylum, how difficult they are making it deliberately. They are literally killing people, and I really need your support. I wish this never happens to anybody in anywhere, and sharing these videos will help the consciousness of the world about why refugees are generally forced into taking illegal routes, because this is how it happens to them if they go to the officials, to the authorities, those who are allegedly, supposedly are out there to help refugees, but they are not helping. So thank you very much again, and I look forward to your kind solidarity and support, and have a great day. Take care. Bye.